Okay, heading into Demon Hunter, the new class. The first time that Hearthstone has ever had a new class. I'm very excited about it. We're going to get into these cards here. Emulation Aura. 2 mana spell. Deal 1 damage to all minions twice. Yeah, this card's very strong. 2 mana for 2 damage is really good. And the fact that it says deal 1 damage to all minions twice means that if there is a reborn guy with 1 health left, it'll deal the damage to that reborn minion. Then it will come back and it will deal that 1 damage to the next minion as well. So it is very good against stuff like that. Things with Death Rattle that summon other things as well. Yeah, this card's very strong for 2 mana. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I think every Demon Hunter deck is going to be playing it. Next card we got here, Nether Walker. 2 mana, 2/2. Battlecry, discover a demon. So, I mean, this card is just very solid. Discovering a demon instead of getting a random demon is very good as well. There are a lot of new demons, so we'll have to take a look at the demon pool overall to see how good this card truly is. But I would think on average you're getting a pretty decent card. And this is a bit slower, so I don't think you'd be playing it in a more aggressive Demon Hunter deck. But I could totally see this in a Highlander or Control-ish, mid-rangey Demon Hunter. I'm going to give this card a 4 out of 5. Just because it is a little slower, but the value that you get should be worth it in the end. Next we have Ashe Tongue Battle Lord. 4 mana, 3/5. Taunt Lifesteal. So this is essentially like a better Sen'jin Shieldmaster. Same exact stats overall. Except you do gain the Lifesteal ability, which is very important. I think this card is good overall. Will it see play? I'm not sure. I don't know if the class really needs this per se right now. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's a good card overall, but I don't know if it'll really see too much play. Don't know if they need it. Next card we got is Crimson Sigil Runner. A 1 mana 2/1 with Outcast, draw a card. For those of you that are not familiar with the Outcast mechanic, it essentially is when you play the card from the leftmost or rightmost position in your hand, then you get this bonus effect. So for this case, if you're playing this card and it's the leftmost or For this card in particular, if you're playing this card and it's the leftmost or rightmost card in your hand, you're going to draw a card when you play it. It should be glowing orange as well, or yellow, just like the other cards if they're active as well. And yeah, this card's very good. I mean, a 1 mana 2/1 is already pretty good, and then you get to draw a card. So I don't see why you wouldn't run this card, especially in a more aggressive deck. This has got to be a 5 out of 5 card if I've ever seen one. Yeah, next card. Okay, next card we got here is Coil Fang Warlord. A lot of people are very excited about this card, including me. It's an 8 mana 9/5 with Rush, and the Death Rattle is summon a 5/9 Warlord with Taunt. So this card is very versatile. You get to kill something, and then you get a Taunt to protect against some aggressive units that your opponent is going to put down. This card seems really, really good for 8 mana. You're getting 14/14 in stats, and it's split amongst 2 effects that you usually have to pay more mana for. So I really like this card. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Next card we got here is Fel Summoner. It's a 6 mana 8/3, interesting stats, with a Death Rattle of summon a random demon from your hand. So there really aren't too many demons for Demon Hunter yet. I mean, the class just got announced, but I think if you do pull this off with some of the big demons, it can be quite powerful. I don't think it's going to be consistent enough, especially with it being a Death Rattle and the stats being so bad. I don't think you're going to want to run this card, but I could be wrong. Definitely not in a Highlander deck. I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's like right in the middle. It could go either way. It could be really good or really bad. It's definitely not going to be played in a more aggressive version of the deck, but yeah, maybe this card just sucks. I'm going to give this card a 2 out of 5. I think until Demon Hunter gets some better demons, this card is going to remain on the back burner. Priestess of Uri. A 7 mana 6/7 demon at the end of your turn. Deal 6 damage randomly split among all enemies. Yeah, so I mean, you could kind of compare this card to Reno the Relicologist, who is 6 mana, and he deals 10 damage, but that's right away when you play him. But he does also have the contingency of a Highlander deck. And this is at the end of your turn, so you can get it to activate multiple times. And 6 damage for a pretty well-statted minion sounds pretty good to me. And it essentially has taunt, because if they don't get rid of it, it's going to be quite the nuisance. I'm giving this card a 5 out of 5. This card's really, really great. I still don't think you play this in an aggressive version of the deck. It might be a little too slow. You're probably going to want to put all that damage to their face instead of having it split amongst their minions. But I think in like a more mid-rangey Highlander deck, this card should be very, very strong. 5 out of 5. Okay, getting into everybody's favorite card, Cain Sunfury. The 4 mana 3/5 with charge. And it says all friendly attacks ignore taunt. So, this is Leroy Jr., if you haven't heard. They reincarnated Leroy into a Demon Hunter card. And they gave it this insane effect that we've never seen before in Hearthstone, where you could just flat out ignore taunts and just go face. Yeah, this card is really, really good because there's essentially no way for you to play around it besides just straight up healing your face and just making sure you clear as many minions as you can. But the potential burst damage with this card can be pretty insane, and once again, it's very hard to play around, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. This card is one of the most discussed cards right now, one of the most disgusting cards right now. Can't wait to lose to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. 5 out of 5. Craft this Guldan right away. If you're playing Demon Hunter, you're getting this Guldan 100%. Another really cool and scary thing about this card is that you can get it with Dragon's Horde, which is the 1 mana rogue spell that discovers a legendary minion from another class. And Rogue already has the potential to deal a lot of damage, and the only way to stop that was by putting up these taunts. And this is going to make Rogue pretty unstoppable in that case if that happens. So, pretty scary stuff, man. Pretty scary stuff. Next card we're getting into is Imprisoned Antane. It's a 5 mana 10/6 demon with dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 10 damage randomly split among all enemies. So it's kind of similar to Reno's effect, except for it can go face. I mean, this card's really, really good. 5 mana for 10/6 sounds pretty good to me. It does slow you down a little bit. You have to wait 2 turns, but the payoff does seem worth it. I'd say the only negative to this card is that your opponent's going to see it coming. But even so, it should be quite difficult for them to play around this anyway. I'm going to give this card a 4.5 out of 5. I don't think it's the most insane card I've seen. I think it's very good, but there's just something about it. Maybe it's the dormant that's making me, that's holding it back from 5 stars. But I'm going to give it 4.5. I think it's very good overall. Yeah. Next card we got here is Spectral Sight. 2 mana spell, draw a card, outcast, draw another card. So it's kind of comparable to the 1 mana card that we just saw before that draws a card here. So 1 mana draw 1 card, you get a 2/1. 2 mana draw 2 cards if you get the outcast. It does seem good. I don't know if it's too crazy. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's very good overall. Definitely going to be putting it into my Highlander Demon Hunter deck. But besides that, I mean, if it's just a 2 mana draw card, it's not too insane. I'd rather run a Loot Hoarder at that point. But if you do get the outcast off, it does become quite good. Next card we got here is Furious Belphin. It's a 2 mana 3/2 Murloc. Battle Cry, if your hero attacked this turn, gain +1 attack and rush. So one thing to note is that this is a Murloc. You can get it from some of the Paladin cards as well, like the new Paladin weapon, which could be cool. That actually synergizes really well with that. But yeah, this card is essentially just going to be a 4/2 with rush, because you're always going to be attacking with your hero, most likely, especially if you're playing an aggro deck. And for 2 mana, a 4/2 with rush is really good. It'll allow you to clear off these pesky taunts if you don't have that guy that already ignores the taunts. This will be really good for early game. Trade into some bigger minions. Yeah, this card is going to be a 5 out of 5 for me. You're going to be running 2 of these in an aggro deck, of course. I'll probably fit this into my Highlander deck as well. It's just an overall solid card, especially with your hero power costing 1 mana. Gotta love it. Next card we got here is Pit Commander. It's a 9 mana 7/9 demon with taunt. At the end of your turn, summon a demon from your deck. So this card costs a lot of mana. The stats are okay. It does have taunt, which is cool. The only problem, we're going to run into the same problem we ran into before with that other card that summoned a demon from your hand, is that there really aren't too many demons that you want to get from this yet. So I can see this card being useful maybe in later expansions, but for now, I think it's just going to be a 2 out of 5 for me. Because it's actually a solid card if you get the right demon, but I don't think there's enough to work with it right now. So the next legendary that we're seeing for Demon Hunter is called Metamorphosis. Swap your hero power to deal 5 damage. After 2 uses, swap it back. So, I mean, this card is just really great. It costs 5 mana. Yes, that's a decent amount, but you're paying 5 mana for essentially 10 damage, but you have to use your hero power twice. But you also get to use your hero power before swapping to the hero power. And then after swapping back, so you're paying essentially 7 mana to do 10 damage over 2 turns. And then you do also get to use the extra hero power if you have enough mana. This card's really, really great. I don't see a deck that you wouldn't play this in. It's got to be a 5 out of 5 card. It's a lot of damage, man. What can I say? You can go anywhere. The next card that we have here is Warglaives of Azzinoth. It's a 5 mana weapon, 3 attack and 4 durability. After attacking a minion, your hero may attack again. So this card seems very strong, especially with things that buff your weapon, just like your hero power. So if you need to clear a big taunt, this is your solution. You may take a lot of damage though, that's the only problem. But this can get through a lot. It can also get through multiple taunts in one turn. This should just be a very good card that will be run in every Demon Hunter deck so far. I can't really think of an instance where you wouldn't run this. It is 12 damage essentially in one turn that you could get off for 5 mana. And if you use your hero power, so you're using 6 mana, then you could get off 16 damage in one turn. Of course, you can only attack their hero one time in that sequence, but you can get through a taunt and then attack their hero once as well. There's a lot of things you could do with this weapon. I think this is very strong. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's very close to a 5, but you know what? You know what? It's a 5 out of 5, boys. It's a 5 out of 5. This is a good weapon, alright? Yeah. The ability to use up all the durability on your one turn before they could even get rid of it is really, really good. Clear off all the board. Just keep all your stuff looking fresh on the board, dealing damage to their face. It's what you want. This is what you want in any Demon Hunter deck. This card is really good. There's not too much to say about it. It's just good, alright? We know it's good. The last card we got for Demon Hunter in this new expansion is called Skull of Guldan. It's a 5 mana spell, draw 3 cards, and Outcast, reduce their cost by 3. Wow, this card is really good. It's definitely a little slow. It's a bit on the slower side. It does cost 5 mana, yes, but I mean the potential is just out of this world. If you're playing this in Highlander, you could get a Dragon Queen Alexstrasza for next turn, for a turn 6 Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. Oh my god. There's incredible things that you could do with this card. Even in a more aggressive deck, you still might play this card just because you're going to have your aggressive tools costing 3 less each, which is a lot, actually. This card's got to be a 5 out of 5. I can see everybody running this card. Definitely very good. Excited and also scared for all these Demon Hunter cards to come into the standard rotation here. Should be a lot of fun. I mean, I do understand why they gave Demon Hunter a lot of powerful cards, because it is a new class and all these other classes had all these cards established already, so Demon Hunter coming in with less cards than other classes, they need to give them a bit more powerful of cards. So it does make sense, it's just a little scary. I think Highlander Demon Hunter is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, of course, aggro Demon Hunter is going to be good as well, but we shall see. I'm excited though overall. Can't wait to play it.